If you were dating someone, getting to know them, whatever, okay, at what point would you want to know that they're a felon? Do I tell my boyfriend about the guy I dated before him? This guy just happens to be friends with my boyfriend now. I found this out because my boyfriend invited his friend, who he was sure that I'd really like, out to dinner with us. They follow like hot girls and like Instagram baddies. Is that a red flag?
Boo.
So if your boyfriend commits tax fraud, he's stealing from you, and he's stealing from your mom, and he's stealing from me and Rebecca.
And don't you forget it.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. It's called Stop the Internet Podcast. My name is Kelee.
And my name is Rebecca.
How are you? It's been 70 years.
It's been 90 long years.
Is that what she says?
I forget the number. It's like 92 or something.
Okay.
It really has.
Okay, just please, like, try to remember anything. Do you want to hear the story or not? Kind of a sleigh.
It always comes back to Titanic and this couch.
I love talking about Titanic. Like,
yeah, me too.
It just like never gets old thinking about it.
I know.
And I'm so passionate about it.
The lore.
Wait, can I say one Titanic update that I saw recently?
Yes.
Okay. I saw a video on TikTok that was like this museum. It was like a Titanic museum. They had this like interactive slide type thing where it raised up, and it was to simulate like when the ship was sinking and all the people like sliding down the deck, and only one person was able to like stay at the top, and it was like they were holding onto the edge. And the comments were like, imagine dying in the Titanic and then finding out later that this is an attraction for like entertainment. And I was like, okay, wait, we have to see it both ways though, because I don't know, I just feel like people sometimes forget the Titanic was actually a tragedy, and they're like, crazy story about a ship sinking.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, I would have sank. But you have to be like, no, there was a person that like people loved that was like sliding down the deck, and they matter. You know?
They matter.
Right?
They matter.
But all the comments were like, this is so crazy that this exists.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, I don't know, like just them finding out that this is now like for funsies.
Right. Like an exhibit.
Right.
Well, not an exhibit, but like, yeah.
No, it is.
For funsies.
Yeah, it's like.
But I feel like an exhibit is,
oh, like historic. Yeah, like history and stuff.
It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Respectful, I guess.
Yeah.
But the interactive, like, it's interesting.
Yeah. I know.
Wow. R.I.P.
I just love that movie so much.
Yeah.
I hope they never remake it.
True, because they're remaking, I was just listening to a podcast on the way here, how everything now is like a reboot, a remake. News just broke that they're redoing, or no, not redoing, but a sequel to The Devil Wears Prada.
I just saw that too.
And it's like, are there no original ideas left in the world? Like, what are we...
Well,
one more thing.
I don't think there is though, because you know that theory that every movie has one of like 36 plots? Have you heard this?
Maybe.
There's like a theory that there's actually only like 36, I think the number is like 36, something around there, movie plots or storylines. And so every story, I guess, I don't know if it applies to books, but like movies just are versions of books, I guess. But every movie could fit into one of these like 36 or 32 plots.
Wow, that's a low number.
It's such a low number. But if you think about it, like
what about Titanic?
Well, yeah, that's actually true. But Titanic is like historical fiction. Yeah. So that's not really a storyline, but like a lot of them stem from Shakespeare.
Okay.
So if you think about She's the Man, that is the 12th Night. And there's so many movies where somebody goes undercover. I'm like going to try to think of one more. Now I like can't think. But there is a movie other than She's the Man where somebody Mrs. Doubtfire. They dress up as the opposite gender, go undercover. I don't even know. So many. I'm sure there's like, oh my God, I don't even know. I feel like there's so many that are like on the tip of my brain that I just can't think of right now. But they're all the same movie. They're all the 12th Night. And just like different words. Yeah. You know?
No, that makes sense.
And then another Cinderella story is like such a culprit. Like there are so many movies. Cinderella story, another Cinderella story. Like, I don't know. They're the exact same plot, just like over and over again. Cinderella, like there's so many movies that are Cinderella.
Yeah.
Like they're just all of them are the exact same plot. They're
all Cinderella.
They are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, Titanic is one of a kind. Thankfully though.
So is Avatar.
Also, yeah, I did see another TikTok about Titanic where someone commented, I forget exactly what it was, but they commented something about CGI and how, it was the Titanic, how they filmed the Titanic flooding the main stairwell scene. And apparently James Cameron, aka Tyler Cameron, had one shot. Like he was like, we need to do this in one take. And so all the actors are in there like with the water and it's flowing and they all had life jackets on. And some of the comments were like, I can't believe people didn't die while filming this because just even filming this is so dangerous. And then other comments were like, I bet all of this would be CGI if it was filmed today. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, that is I seriously think that. And that is why it's so magical.
No, totally. A lot of those early day movies I feel that way about because like the trailer for Gladiator 2 just came out.
Oh, I've never. And is there a Gladiator 1?
Yes. With Russell Crowe. You must watch it.
Wait, Russell Crowe. Who's Russell Crowe?
He was in Les Mis. He's not as popular now.
Okay.
I feel like he's like retired kind of.
I think I've heard the name.
But he's most known for Gladiator.
Okay.
And yeah, like the new trailer, it just looked so like CGI-esque. And I feel like the old Gladiator, like what made it so special was the fact that it was like 2003.
Yeah.
And they did these like really intense like battle scenes almost or like fight scenes with swords and stuff. And I'm like, that probably was real. And I'm sure they trained still for this new movie, but it's just like something about it. I was like, I don't know.
Everything feels cooler when it's not CGI.
I know.
In a way. Like even though CGI is what makes things so epic, but like even The Wizard of Oz, like that original one, you can see the painted backdrop like in the entire movie, just like a little bit behind them.
Yeah.
But like something about that movie feels like so real. Like, I don't know. Even if you watched it today, you'd be like, wow, this is so different than every other movie.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I like it because of nostalgia, but like if a child today watched it, I feel like there would be like some type of lore there
for sure
that isn't going to be there with Wicked. Because Wicked, I mean, I've only seen the trailer, but like also just looks so like CGI and like fantastical that I'm like, this is like boring now. Like when everything is CGI and fantastical, like nothing is like appealing about it anymore.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'm still going to eat it up, but I agree.
I do want to see it.
Yeah.
Wicked is a book that I have, but I never actually read it because I got it when I was really little.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom saying like, this might be like a little too hard for you to read. And then I never picked it up again.
I never read it.
Okay, you didn't.
But I saw the Broadway show a few times. It's a really nice story. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I just love that whole world.
Yeah.
I think it's so magical and unique.
Fantastical?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll read it because I love the songs in the musical. Sometimes I watch, like, whenever they come up on my TikTok, like somebody singing, what is it called? Defying Gravity.
Yeah.
I'm like, whew, that song just kind of slaps.
It slaps so hard.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Low-key, I'm like, am I into showbiz?
You should be. You should
theater.
Get into it.
Musical theater?
Broadway, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I love the Legally Blonde soundtrack.
So good.
For the musical. So good. Like, I could sing, like, basically that was one of those weird, like, niche things when I was, like, 12 and my cousin would babysit us. She was really into musical theater, so she would just play that soundtrack. So we would just listen to the soundtrack from start to finish. And now I can say every single word. And sometimes I do break it out and listen to it. I'm like, this does kind of slap.
Yeah.
You know?
It sure does.
Should we get into our topic?
Sure.
Okay. Today we're talking about, is honesty the best policy? Or like, would you want to know these things? Would you want to tell the person this thing? Do we have to tell someone this thing? I feel like I'm being so elusive right now.
I think it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
I'm always someone that preaches about honesty, but I feel like hearing these stories, I'm going to be like, we'll see how I go.
I think about that too because I totally agree. I totally preach about honesty is the best policy, but at the same time, I am a firm believer in sometimes the full truth is more than the person needs.
Yeah.
So
I know it's
like a fine line between the two because I really truly believe that. Like one of the topics, like maybe we can just start with this one, but it's like all the details of the story are kind of like not really relevant, but the main storyline is, or the main question is, I've been talking to a girl, but I don't find her attractive. Do I tell her? And so they matched on Tinder. She has one of those profiles where you can't really see what she looks like in photos. It was a funny profile. Oh, she had memes on it. It was a funny profile. And I found that girls who have profiles like that seem more down to earth. We connected and have been vibing fairly well, talking, and she just gave me her Instagram. I didn't really know what to expect, but from her pictures, now that I have a more clear idea of what she looks like, she's not my type and I'm not physically attracted at all. I kind of feel bad just cutting it off, especially because she'll know it's because I just saw her Instagram. Also, I know that this sounds shallow, but I definitely think that physical attraction is important. I don't know what to do.
I don't think that's necessary. Like,
yeah,
you know, what is that going to do for her? You don't know each other. Like,
totally.
I feel like that's just, you just can leave it where it is.
I totally feel like in that situation, yes, because it's like you're strangers.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. But at the same time, it's like she's going to be wondering. But yeah, like she doesn't need to know this stranger is just like, I don't think you're pretty. Like,
and I think letting like her wondering, that'll fade faster than knowing someone finds you unattractive.
That's a good point.
Like she can wonder for a little bit and then she'll get over it. But if you tell her that, it's something that sticks with the girl, you know?
That's a great point.
So
yeah. But what if it was like in a friend group and two people were really vibing and then, I don't know, maybe they were like friends of friends and they start hanging out more. So because of friends, they're like in the same circle more and more and more. And the person's like, we're really vibing. Like, would you want to go out? And they say no. Would you want to like, I don't know. Because then it's like, but I guess there's a way to say that without saying, I don't think you're attractive. It's more just like, I don't see you romantically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I would ever recover.
No.
From being like, I don't think you're attractive. I'd be like, I didn't need to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like we're all able to like recognize the fact that not everyone thinks you're attractive.
Yeah.
Like if you ask me, does everyone think you're attractive? Like, of course not.
Right.
But like hearing, I don't think you're attractive is like, cool.
Right. Cool.
Thanks.
Right. I'll just go cry myself to sleep.
Right. Even, yeah, totally.
So, yeah, that's a situation where no, I don't think you have to tell that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also funny too, because it's like, honesty is the best policy, but you also don't have to tell everyone every thought you've had.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes telling someone something can elicit like problems that didn't need to be there. And they're like, well, I'm just being honest. Like, yeah. Actually, wait, there's that like iconic clip. It's like in every like pop culture moments that I'll never forget.
Oh.
Where the YouTuber's like, I think you're ugly. I think you're ugly and I think you're fat. It's just my opinion.
I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen that.
And it's like, is she kind of right though? But also like, we don't need to tell everyone our opinion.
Wait, can I be off topic for 2 seconds?
Of course.
Have you seen that TikTok of James Charles being like, we are fucked and nobody seems to care?
Yeah.
And it just like, but people are putting it over the funniest like other TikToks where like, I don't know, I saw one this morning. Oh my God. It was like when I was 12 and I forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer.
And your mom's getting home. Yeah.
Sorry. I just think that's so funny.
That is so funny.
Literally my life.
Wait, that's hilarious.
I'm crying.
I have seen like all of the people that actually understand politics being like, yeah, that doesn't work like that.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
The actual video, like,
so funny.
I don't agree with, but when it's placed over stuff like that, I'm like, oh my God.
I just think like people are so creative and I'm like, how did you think of that? Like, I just wish I thought of that. And that's so a perfect example.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Too good.
That is good. Should we do another one? Should we get into it? Okay.
The cold brew is cold brewing today.
Is it?
I'm like a little woo.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're like feeling high.
Yeah. I don't know if it's ever in a good way, to be honest.
Yeah.
I prefer iced coffee, but this is a problem with coffee shops, like local ones. They never sell iced coffee for some reason.
Really?
It's always cold brew now. And it's like, bro, sometimes I don't need the cold brew caffeine. I need the iced coffee caffeine.
Oh, because cold brew has like way more.
There's a difference.
Okay.
But some of these like mom and pop shops, like they only sell cold brew. And I'm like,
Wait, how do you make cold brew? You just put it
overnight, it like steeps.
And then you drain it?
Yes.
And then it's cold brew?
Something like that.
Wait, I low-key want to try to make that.
It's
do people
more
make
involved. Yeah, you can.
Okay. It's more involved.
Yeah, a little bit. You should
Maybe
try.
I can't make it.
And let me know.
Okay.
But yeah, I just need that like little caffeine, not intense caffeine.
Okay.
And sometimes it hits different. Like today,
I know sometimes intense caffeine is like, whew, like they say caffeine's a drug, and I'm like, yeah, it is.
I'm like a little bit not in this world right now.
I know. Isn't that so weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so weird that it's just like something we drink every day.
Yeah.
I've been having trouble waking up, and I'm like, dude, I should just it's because of blackout curtains. Like whenever there's curtains on a window, I'm like, I'm not waking up that morning.
Yes.
Like the sun needs to be in my eyes or I'm not getting up.
Yep.
So sometimes I'm like, do I just put like a coffee by my bedside table, and then just like as soon as I open my eyes, like it's like a scene in SpongeBob where the lips like reach out to the straw, and then I'm like, well, that's probably not good.
Right.
If I cannot wake up physically my human body without a stimulant,
might want to work on that one.
yeah. Yeah. Do you ever not have coffee some days and you just let yourself raw dog it?
I used to be actually really good about that. Like I didn't rely on it. And somewhere along the way, I have become
I completely agree. Yeah.
I get the caffeine headache. It's so bad.
I don't know if I get that caffeine headache, but I'm just so groggy without it.
Yeah.
That I'm like, yeah, I want it. Like, I don't know. And then it just changes my day.
Right.
Like, that's really actually a bad thing.
Same. But I like the taste too.
I like the taste.
It's like a ritual for me.
Yeah.
Taste of coffee.
It smells good too.
I would like to be more involved and have like green tea, but it's never gonna happen.
Green tea's so good though.
It is. It's good for you too.
Yeah. I used to get migraines from coffee, so I would only drink green tea. And wait, really?
Yeah, in high school and like early college.
Wait, me too.
Too much coffee, or even sometimes one cup, I would get a headache.
Me too. Yes. Okay.
Love that for us.
Sometimes I would literally get it like instantly.
Yeah.
Because I would get those ocular migraines. Specifically, I remember this one time where I took one sip of decaf. I mean, I think it's probably a coincidence, but decaf coffee, and I started seeing like floaters in my vision. I was like, cool.
It was never that bad, but it was definitely like a headache from the coffee.
Yeah. Wow.
Sometimes I get it if I drink like a lot of caffeine still.
Okay.
But normally like the 1 cup a day, I try to do 1 cup a day. It doesn't give me headaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't drink it and I'm just like in like this, I don't know, I just feel like not productive, I guess. Like I'm just in this like, I'm tired, like almost like borderline bad mood.
Yeah.
And then I have coffee and I'm like, oh, I'm normal actually.
Yeah.
Like, that's like not good actually. I don't know.
But there are worse things
that's true
to be addicted to, and that's what I tell myself. I'm like, you know what, like if this is like the worst thing about my vices,
that's so true, then
I'm fine. I'm doing fine.
That's such a good point.
Speaking of that though, life update, I gave up Diet Coke for the time being.
Wow, that's like your thing.
I know.
Why? What made this choice?
Well, I was away this past week and I just like noticed is that the right tense?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm having a moment. It's the cold brew. But reaching for the Coke Zero, like when I didn't really want it. Maybe it was just because I was away on vacation. But I'm like, then I had a conversation with my sister about sugar. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to go cold turkey. I do that sometimes.
Yeah, you really do. But you said it actually changes things, right?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Like, I'm in the period now where it's been like 3 days. And I'm like, okay, I could use a Diet Coke.
But why do you want a Diet Coke? Is it because you like the taste? Or is it because you want the feeling? Like, is it more like a social feeling you get? Or is it like a physical feeling you get?
It's physical. Like, I love the taste. I love the carbonation. I love that it gives you that sugar high without actually having sugar.
That's the like the issue, I guess, is like that high you get. Yeah, okay.
But like it is sugar. Like even though it's 0 cal, it's like artificial sweetener.
Right.
So I'm just trying to go cold turkey with all sugar. And last time I did that, I still had Diet Coke.
Oh, okay.
This time I'm like, no Diet Coke, no sugary things, no like pumps of anything in my coffee. I normally don't do that, but like sometimes on the weekends I'll have a latte. Nope. No.
And you're just doing it to like see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like detoxing.
I'd be like that sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. What are the differences you've noticed?
So far it's been torture.
Wow.
Yeah, because again, I'm on day 3. It's like early, but I think once you get over, I would say like the 5-day hump of something, regardless of what you're detoxing from, like it becomes so much easier. Like your body just, it gets there. It takes a minute, but it does get there.
Right.
But this time period I'm in, I'm like right now, I really want a Diet Coke.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I was starting to have them with lunch. This is when I noticed it was bad. I'm like, I can't be like making this a daily like lunchtime thing.
Yeah, and I get where people are coming from when they're like, if you want to just have it. Like, no, that's so true. But we all can admit But soda's bad for you.
Yeah.
Like, regardless, it's not a good thing for you.
No.
And to have it every day, like, you could kind of like make the equivalent to like having ice cream every single day after lunch, like half a pint of ice cream or a full pint of ice cream or something like that.
Yeah.
Because there are some ice creams that have like the same or less sugar than a soda. Like, a soda is so bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I could see that if you're doing it for health, like there is, I don't know, like if you're doing it because you're like, all right, this is not good for my body. It's like, if you said that about like alcohol, people would be like, yeah, stop drinking it, you know?
Yeah.
But then if you said that about soda, people would be like, but you deserve a little treat. And it's like, well, it is bad for you. It's like, you do deserve a treat, but maybe not. If you have it every single day as part of your routine, is it even really a treat?
Yeah.
Or is it just like part of your life?
And it
like,
always starts out like, oh, a little treat every like couple days on the weekends. Somewhere along the line, I just got way too consistent.
Yeah.
Where I've probably been averaging like 4 to 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously like 1 can of Diet Coke, it's not like I'm like full blown like 4 cans a day. Like some people, I saw this TikTok of this woman being like, I was drinking 8 cans of Diet Dr. Pepper every day. And I'm like, okay, that's bad.
That is bad.
It made me feel better about my 1 can every like other day.
Like, it's bad, like, just for her, like, her body.
I know. Crazy. But I'm trying to just wean it back. So when I do start again, I can get to a point where I'm like only on the weekends or like only when I really need it and I'm not
only when you really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like this, almost like a want on like the surface level.
Yeah.
Not like a want coming from like your like brain. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like I was using it as my like 2 p.m. snack thing.
Okay.
And it's like, no, just have a snack or have like tea, herbal tea.
Yeah, and have the Diet Coke only sometimes instead of every time you want the treat or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I'll keep you abreast.
I went through this phase where it wasn't even a phase. Like, it's kind of still relevant, but so it was when I wasn't drinking coffee because I would get migraines from it.
Yeah.
I would only drink green tea every day for years. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't drink soda either because I just went through this phase where I'm like, yeah, I never drank it, so I never craved it. Mm-hmm. And soda's a thing, at least for me, where the more you have it, the more you want it.
Yeah.
And I would, like, the only liquid I would consume is green tea and water. And I wouldn't even put, like, flavor in my water. Like, people use, like, Mio or, like, something like that. And I never understood the, like, Diet Coke, like, having, like, that with dinner or lunch or something. And then I started drinking soda just, like, a little bit more in the past, like, few years. And I was like, shit, like, this kind of slaps. Like, this is so good. Mm-hmm. It's actually scary how good this is.
Yeah.
Because I want it, like, all the time. And then I would have it like every time I'm at a wedding, which is a lot. And then I'd be like, yeah, I don't drink soda. But then I'm like, wait, but yes, I do because I have it every time I'm at a wedding. I have it in like this situation. Or like I asked my dad at dinner, can I have some of your like Coke? And he's like, yeah. And then I drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they get a refill. And then I'm like, wait, I actually do drink soda like all the time.
Right.
I just didn't think I did. And now I feel like I do drink it like sometimes here and there.
Yeah.
And I didn't think, I was like, I don't think I like Diet Coke. And then I'm like, wait, yes, I do. And I tried it like in my era of being friends with you because I'm like, wait, you drink Diet Coke. And then I started drinking it.
Oh no, I'm a bad influence.
No. I mean, I only drink it sometimes, but like,
save yourself.
Still, no, it's actually so good. And it is like a little treat to have. Yeah. And it is not, I mean, I think it's not as bad as drinking like non-Diet Coke.
Sure.
I don't know.
I agree. And also, but in regards to the no sugar thing, which I'm doing right now, like they do say diet sodas or soda in general, but like if you're trying to just eat less sugar, people will replace that with Diet Coke because it's 0 cal. But the taste of it makes you crave sweets. So it kind of like balances out at the end of the day for a lot of people because it's like you'll have a Diet Coke at lunch and then later on you're like, wait, I want ice cream. And I'm not saying it's directly correlated to having a Diet Coke, but I do think there's something to be said for that. So I'm just trying a little experiment in my life where I'm like, maybe I crave sweets so much because I've been really heavily drinking the Diet Cokes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, doing a little test. Yeah. I will report back next time we record.
Interesting. Yeah. I do think that is possible because the more sweets I eat, the more sweets I want.
Yeah. It's meant to be addicting. Sugar is such an industry that we need to be careful of as consumers. So okay.
Yeah. That is very true.
That's my little health rant for the day.
I love it. But also, if you want to have a soda, sometimes you can. Like,
Yes.
I think it's fine.
I'll
But
introduce it
yeah,
at some point.
but it is interesting to do an experiment with yourself sometimes.
I love it. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
I know. I feel like there's so many random days where Rebecca will text me and be like, I'm cutting out sugar cold turkey. And I'm like, oh, why?
Oh.
And then like, you're just but like you do it. Like
Yeah.
when you cut something out, like you actually do it. And then you're like, well, I can't do that because I'm cutting out sugar. And I'm like, wow, like if I was doing that, I'd be like, well, it's fine if I eat it. Like it's harder for me to like hold myself to something like that.
But it's such a mental game. Like once you get there, it's easier than you think because you're like, I don't know. It's a psychological game with yourself.
Yeah.
Like some days I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll eat less sugar this weekend. And then yeah, I still eat it. But if you're like literally you wake up and you're like cold turkey, no sugar, like you'd be surprised. You can do it.
Maybe I'll do it sometime and see what happens.
Okay, I'll do it with you.
Okay.
Twist my arm.
Okay, so should we do another situation?
Okay.
Oh my God, what to start with? Okay, this is interesting. Hard-hitting question here, and I have no idea what the answer is. Do I tell the guy I'm dating if I got plastic surgery? If I got a boob job and a nose job, at what point, if ever, am I obligated to tell the guy I'm dating?
Okay, well, can I say boob jobs are pretty obvious?
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Like 99% of them. So
That's true.
I don't think it's something you have to say.
Like they're just gonna know.
Yeah.
Although guys can be dumb.
Actually, true. I think women notice it, not in like a creepy way, but like
Yeah.
you can tell. Maybe men don't. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess like women though might notice it more because you know what
Yeah.
normal boobs look like if you have normal boobs.
Yeah.
And then if you have these like perfectly shaped, like symmetrical, like sit
Right.
perfectly, you're like, okay, that's
Yeah.
probably a boob job.
Yeah. And then the nose job, it's not always obvious.
Right.
So I don't think you have like why say either, honestly.
Yeah, I think that if it came up and they were like, have you ever had surgery or like, I don't know, because that's like an important question, right? I don't know, because people, that's like a medical history question. Why do they ask that? Like, you know how at a doctor's office, they say, have you ever had surgery? And that's like an important question on your medical questionnaires.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know. Is it important to know that?
I feel like if you're dating someone, no.
Yeah.
But in general,
if you married them, shouldn't, well, I guess they don't need to know your medical history.
yeah, it's like also a vanity thing a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you've had a leg amputation.
Right.
Like a nose job, like why would someone need to know that?
Yeah, I guess you don't need to tell someone something, but also you don't need to lie about it.
Yeah.
I also just kind of think it's like an interesting thing. Like I've talked about plastic surgery so many times in my life
Yeah.
that if it came up when like my boyfriend was in the room, would it be like weird to just like leave out is it a lie to like leave out the fact that, I mean, I guess not.
I don't think it's a lie. I think if it gets brought up, like if you're sitting at a table and you're talking about it, be like, oh yeah, like I've had this done. But I don't think you have to say it, and I don't think you have to lie either.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think it would be bad to lie
yeah,
because that's just weird. Like you shouldn't lie. It shouldn't be something to lie about.
no.
If
But-
someone was like, have you had it? To be like, no, that's sketchy in my opinion.
oh yeah, but I think unless it's like, I don't know, it's not something that I would just randomly be like, yeah, I've had this done.
Yeah, no, me neither actually. Well, I guess, I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it would though, because maybe you'd be like so excited about it. If
Yeah.
like you had this perfect ass nose job and then like plastic surgery came up and people were like, oh, people look fake with Phil. And you'd be like, no, look at my perfect ass nose thanks
Yeah.
to this doctor. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like it's
That's a good
something to be
point.
like proud of at the same time too.
facts.
Because also you had enough money to drop $10,000 to $20,000 on that little swoop in your nose. Like,
Right.
that's also kind of a flex.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
either.
I feel like that's something that I would be really open about and I wouldn't care. But then also I've like seriously considered getting a nose job, but then I do have this thought in the back of my head where I'm like, if people think I'm pretty and they know I had a nose job, because I would be open about it,
Yeah.
are they gonna think I'm only pretty because I had a nose job? And that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm also like, why does that make me sad? Like, does that make me sad because of like some sort of insecurity, or does it make me sad because of like knowing that like society is so judgmental
Yeah.
and like not wanting people to have these judgmental thoughts about me? But I'm like, does that also come from a place of insecurity? Like, I don't know.
Right.
I just think that if I were to get a nose job and I thought that people thought I was pretty only because of that, I would be like having mental like issues because of that. I don't know
Yeah.
why though. I can't like put my finger on it.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I just think in a romantic relationship, it's not like super necessary to disclose.
But then what if you had kids and your kids look nothing like you and you were like, what the heck?
Blame it on the man.
Yeah, true. But still, it's like you shouldn't want to marry someone because you want your kids to have like the perfect nose that they have.
Yeah.
So maybe it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I'd be open about it, but yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Boobs, though, I actually think maybe you do have to tell because like aren't some boob jobs like you can't just like squeeze every boob, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if someone just got a boob job and you squeeze it, like that could really hurt them, right?
True. And also, aren't there medical effects of some boob jobs? Like they're not everybody, separate word, like takes well to it.
And there's actually a medical sickness. I don't remember the term, but it's literally called something like boob job sickness or like breast augmentation illness. That's like exactly what it sounds like because people get like very sick. Yeah, I actually think boob job is more important to tell because you have a foreign body within your body and that can be dangerous. And it's not medically necessary, I guess.
Right. So yeah, it's like a foreign object in your body.
Right.
It's not meant to be there. That's why.
And it could hurt you at some point, whereas a nose job probably isn't going to hurt you in the way that would.
No, I agree. Because it's not like, there's not like silicone in your nose.
Right.
It's just like they move things around, right?
Yeah, I think the only thing that could happen is like either it looks really bad or your nostril gets smaller, so it's harder for you to breathe, but that's like your own problem. Whereas like if you got a boob job, like the effects of that illness could put you in a hospital. Like it's like really intense.
That's why I think some women get them taken out after 10 years or something.
Yeah, and you're supposed to get it done every 10 years, I think, too.
Yeah, something to think about.
It's actually really interesting how normalized boob jobs are because it does seem like something that's like, yeah, you just put the silicone in and they sew it up and that's it. But like it is actually a really dangerous surgery.
Yeah, that's why I think you got to get it done somewhere like in Beverly Hills or something.
Yeah, or just extremely reputable.
Yeah.
Maybe not Beverly Hills though. I feel like there's so many people out there that are like celebrity doctor and it's like, but are you? Like I think like I'd rather go to like New York or Philly to have it done, I think.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't rather, but I would trust them probably just as much in New York or like any major city.
Yeah.
Would you ever get plastic surgery in another country?
No. I don't know what I would even have done. And not to say that I'm like...
No, I know.
I've just never thought about it. Like,
yeah. Sometimes I see what these places in Turkey are like. Like I just saw someone get a hair transplant in Turkey and he made a TikTok about it. It was like a few minutes long and I was like, wow, this is like amazing. Like this facility is like state of the art. Like it looks so cool. And they like really take care of you there.
Huh.
And I'm like, okay, Turkey.
I mean, listen, I could read up on it, let you know.
Yeah.
I'll find something.
It is insane how much plastic surgery costs.
Yeah,
like,
it
to
is.
get a nose job.
I know.
Like, especially in New York or LA, probably is like closer to $20K.
Yeah.
I think in Philly, it's a little cheaper.
Yeah.
$10K, maybe $6
right.
at the lowest. $6 though, I'm almost like, if you're charging $6, do you know what you're doing?
That's true too.
Because that is one of those things where it's like, you don't want to get the cheapest one.
No.
Because why are they the cheapest one?
That might be a place where they aren't like known for nose jobs, but they do plastic surgery in general. So they like offer it on the menu.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't want to go to there.
I like want to get a nose job on the surface level. But then when I think deeper, like you really do have to think about all the... But then I'm like, is it that deep to get a nose job? But then I'm like, I think it is, but I don't know.
I think it's one of the less deep ones to get, you know?
Yeah.
But also a nose can really change your face. So you got to like think about that.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Like if they fuck it up, you're fucked. At least boobs, like they can either take them out or you can wear a shirt.
Right.
Your nose, they mess that up.
Right.
You're in it for life.
I've seen some housewives with botched noses.
Oh.
And you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
like
always
they've
look
had
better.
Multiple nose jobs.
Yeah.
But then you see someone like Blake Lively, who it's like perfect.
She's like the best example of like when it was done so well.
So well.
Yeah.
And she was pretty before and pretty after, and like people don't even know because it's so good and like so seamless, like didn't change too much, just enough to like make it stereotypically perfect. Like so good. So good. Stunning, babes.
Stunning.
Do I tell my boyfriend about the guy I dated before him? We briefly dated and he was a really nice guy and things just didn't work out. We were not in an official relationship and all we did was kiss. This guy just happens to be friends with my boyfriend now. That's so funny. That's like when anyway, I don't know. That's like a movie plot.
Yeah, it is. That's like the little wrench in the story, I guess.
Yeah, that's like the 3/4 of the way through when like something goes wrong and you're like, oh, that's the guy.
Yeah.
I found this out because my boyfriend invited his friend, who he was sure that I'd really like, out to dinner with us. Wait, that sounds like out of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd really like this guy. It's like, yeah, he's my ex.
Right.
He said hi, and my boyfriend was like, oh, you guys know each other? We said, yeah, and it was pretty awkward. On the drive back home, my boyfriend said he was happy to know that we knew each other. He noticed I was quiet, and he held my hand, and he asked what was wrong. I told him I'd tell him later because I'm still processing how to tell him. That doesn't seem that weird.
No.
That's something that I think you have to tell them, because if you don't tell them, that's weird.
Then you're making it weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to tell. Yes. Especially because your boyfriend, is going out of his way to be like, I think you'd really like this guy. You should be friends with him. I think you need to just be like, oh yeah, how we knew each other is because we went on a few dates. We did end up kissing, but it was nothing more than that. But I just wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
People are so scared to like tell people things.
I know.
Actually, one of our TikToks, I just put it up. We were talking about how like when you tell someone your actual thoughts about them, and I was kind of going on a rant being like, if you tell someone how you really feel and they leave you because of that,
yeah,
then like they're doing you a favor.
Yes.
And someone commented and was like, so true. But I've also found that people don't want to know the truth. And I was like, that's kind of true too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do think that people want to live in like this like blissful ignorance of like, everything's fine, we're on the same page. And then like they don't actually want to know how the person feels because it'll like change things.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I think that happens sometimes in situationships where people are like, it's like that phrase playing house, where you are in a situationship and it's like you're doing all the good parts of a relationship, but you don't want the responsibility.
Yeah.
And then so when someone's like, I like you, like, let's be official, then it seems like the guy is like, no, I don't want to actually date. Like, I don't want the label. And it's like, well, that's because you're being selfish. Like, that's because you want the good parts of a relationship and not the responsibility.
Why milk the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Yes.
Is that the phrase?
Why pay for the cow?
No,
or something? No, I think that's what it is. It's like,
why pay for the cow? Yeah.
Yeah, when you can get the milk for free or something.
Yes.
Why buy the cow? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We got there.
So I do think some people like don't want to know the truth sometimes.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh, it's easier if I don't have to like commit myself to you, and like we don't have to have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, agreed.
Wait, I just had deja vu. I'm
think
scared. Sorry.
This girl's issue is like a different conversation. Like, do you have to tell your boyfriend about your past relationships? Or like in this situation, yes, kind of, because he was like the friend. But like in general, like, no.
I don't think you have to, but I also think that if you're in a really, really mature relationship, they might want to know about your ex. I don't know. I've definitely asked people like, what was your past relationship and why did you break up? That kind of thing. And it's really interesting to hear. And I think it's such a green flag when you can have that conversation and the person can be like, oh yeah, they're a great person, but like we're just not meant to be because of this, and this. And like they can have like a little bit of like resentment and be like, oh, this was so annoying. Like once they like get into it and be like, oh my God, this was so annoying. Like it drove me up a wall and like I couldn't deal with this in my life. But I think it's such a green flag when overall they can recognize like they're not a bad person, but like just not for me. Like not for me at all. Because like what if you just started dating someone and they were like, oh, I really, really hated that she was so into social media and loved posting. Like I want to live like an extremely private life and not share anything on social media. I would be like, oh, well then we are not compatible because this is like my job and like this is my passion is doing this podcast.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you be like, okay, I can't date that person?
But maybe like it was more to do with her than it was to do with what she was doing. And he'd be okay if you were doing that because he just loves you more.
Huh, maybe.
Like I just think it's one of those things where, yeah, you can know it, but you also don't have to know it.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
It's not like a necessary conversation to have.
No, yeah, you're right. I don't think it's necessary. But at the same time, like, it's not necessary, but I do think there are things in relationships that you can be like, this is something. Yeah, you're right. Because you could tell the person the issue and the matter without expressing like, this is the exact situation it happened in.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say like, there was things in my first relationship that I ever had that I learned so much about myself and relationships as a whole and like communication. And I was like, here are things that I did wrong and like blah, blah, blah. And I could use that information and like the lessons that I learned in my current relationship without telling my boyfriend like where I learned it.
Yeah.
But I also think that if they ever asked, I would be like, yeah, this is something that like, I don't know, or if there's an issue, like it could be helpful sometimes to be honest and be like, I've experienced this in relationships and it didn't work because of these reasons. So this is what I need going forward.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it does, like, it kind of raises the stakes a little bit when you're like, this is really important to me. And it's like the reason that X, Y, and Z happened with other people or didn't happen with other people. Like,
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Like you don't have to disclose every detail, I guess.
I just think like I could get married to someone and never know about their exes. Like I would be fine with that. I don't think it would change my opinion about someone to know how they were in a previous relationship, because all that matters is how you are in this one.
Yeah,
and
that's
how
a
you
good point.
like how you make me feel.
Yeah.
And like someone could have been a total a-hole in their previous relationship, but like that was that relationship.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I guess not even how they were, but like things, I don't know. Yeah, I get what you mean. But do you think you'd ever be curious about it?
No, like no.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I'm thinking back on like previous dating experiences and like I just never like cared to know.
Okay.
Or like when I was younger, yes, but I think now in the past couple of years it's like no, like I just genuinely don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
interesting. I guess it does depend on the situation.
Yeah.
I do find that I am more curious though. Like one of those things where only ask if you're prepared to know the truth.
Yeah.
Because you could get information that you don't want or that like makes you like sad or insecure. But at the same time, I am curious about things, I think.
Right.
I find myself like asking questions or wanting to know more.
Yeah. I think that's fine too. It's natural.
Yeah. I guess it's subjective though.
Yeah.
But you could also, like in a situation like this, I think this situation is more simple. Like it's more simple. You didn't actually date the guy. Just tell your boyfriend how you met in the past, like whatever. But if you ever do have like these situations, you could ask your partner, do you want me to tell you X, Y, and Z, or would you rather just not hear about it? Because I think a mature person would be able to be like, no, I don't need to know. I don't need to know that detail or something like that. But then they also might be able to recognize like, yeah, I think that would help me like understand you better. Like, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask the information they want to receive.
Right.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
I had such deja vu when we were talking about that, but I also like don't believe in deja vu like at all.
Really?
Like, you know how when people are like, I'm having crazy deja vu, like what's going to happen next?
Yeah, it does happen to me.
Me too, but I'm like, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
Like I have it all the time and it's so strong and I'm just like, this means nothing actually.
Yeah. I agree. It doesn't mean anything, but it's still happening.
But people think it means something.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like I've been in situations where people are like, oh my God, like what? Like I'm having crazy deja vu. And I'm like, yeah, like that means your brain is like having like a slight lapse, like a point 0.00000001 lapse. Like that's, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't mean your ex is going to walk in. Like you guys are going to like find out you're actually soulmates. Like,
oh, God.
I don't know. I feel like people think about it like that. They're like,
I guess.
What does it mean? And it's like, it means nothing.
You're right. It doesn't.
I'm like so spiritual and like woo woo, but as soon as it comes to deja vu, I'm like, I don't want to. You can tell me you have it. Like, I think it's interesting to be like, whoa, cool. Yeah. But like, don't like stress about it.
No.
I don't know.
No stress. No stress.
Okay, this is on a similar wavelength. Here's another dating one.
Okay.
I think we've kind of talked about this in the past, but I forget. I want to decline a date because he follows porn stars on Instagram. Should I tell him why or make an excuse? I feel like we've talked about like they follow like hot girls and like Instagram baddies. Is that a red flag? Or like do you still date them or tell them why? Like
I forget what we said, but I feel like it's not
if we say the same thing.
Yeah, literally stitch this. I don't think it's a reason to not date someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's worth just having a conversation, like open communication about.
Yes.
And being like, what are you getting from this?
Yeah.
And can I give it to you instead?
No, yes, it's so true. No, because I think we talked about how it's okay to like do that. Yeah. But it's just weird when you follow it on your public Instagram.
Yeah, now I remember
when
this.
Like everyone can see that. Like you can do whatever you want in the privacy of your own home, but like your Instagram following list is public knowledge. And like does everyone need to know that? Like I don't think they do.
No.
And I feel like I'd be embarrassed if my boyfriend like followed just tons of hot girls. And then if I mean, it's also a matter of like someone going in and actually looking at the following list, but people do that sometimes.
Yeah.
So
if you're newly dating, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, are you following them and liking their posts and interacting? Like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But then I think it's easier to say that though to someone you're actively dating. Like if it's your boyfriend and then you realize like, oh shit, he follows all these people. It's way easier to be like, hey, this is how I feel about it. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I find it a little weird. Like, could we just not do that or have a different space where you like do that? Yeah. I don't know. But then if it's someone you haven't dated yet and you're like debating going on a first date, how do you be like,
oh, and you're like stalking them?
Yeah. How do you be like, oh, I don't want to go on the date anymore? Like, it seems like this person's like made up their mind.
Yeah.
They do not want to go. And do you tell the person?
No, I this goes back to the first story. Like, you don't need to like give them all that.
Yeah. I don't think you need to give them a reason if they're a stranger.
Yeah.
All you can say is, hey, I don't want to go on the date anymore. Bye.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you like really owe them if you're already in the talks of like planning it.
Right.
But I also think that no, because it's like, I was going to say you could tell them, but then at the same time, like, that's like their life and like their prerogative. So like, why do you, I don't know. It could come off as judgy, I think.
Yeah. I don't think it's something you need to say unless you're dating already.
Yeah.
Then you can bring it up and be like, hey, let's talk about this thing I noticed.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
And do you have a problem?
Right. But then what if you're dating them and they're like, because I was just thinking, like, what if someone looked at my Instagram and they're like, hey, I don't want to go on a date with you because I see that you post bikini photos. Like, you post pictures of yourself in a bikini and I don't like that. I would be like, okay, I'm going to keep doing that. But then, like, what if my boyfriend said that? What if he was like, I don't like that you post bikini photos? Like, I want to keep doing it. But at the same time, it's like, I love you, but I don't want to do that for you. Yeah. Like, I don't want to stop posting what I want to post just because you don't want me to post it. That's like one of those weird things where it's like, are you just not compatible with that person? But like, what if everything's perfect except like they don't want you to post bikini photos or like anything slightly revealing on Instagram?
But then is everything perfect?
Well, that would be the only thing that's not. So it's like 99% good, 1% bad, and this is it. Like, is it worth it to like break up? Are you willing to like do that thing for that person?
I think it's something you can also talk through.
But what if you don't come to an agreement? Like, it's just like you cannot agree. They think this, I think this, and they're opposites.
Wasn't there a story about this in like the public a few years ago? Or maybe recently where
Jonah
like,
Hill.
Yes, actually. The surfer.
Yes. I remember this so clearly, actually. Yeah. But he was like manipulating her.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like, there's other signs in a relationship like that.
That's a good
It's not like 99% he's supportive of everything else and then just doesn't want that one thing. Like, I feel like it's most times
that's
like
true.
They're also manipulative in other ways.
Yeah, that's true. Or like they don't even understand, like they're just immature because he was saying that and he's like, I have boundaries, so I don't want you to post. And she was like, I'm a professional surfer. It's literally my job to post in these bathing suits. Yeah. And then he got to the point where he's like, I don't want you to surf with men.
Right.
And that's my boundary. And she's like, that's not a boundary. Like, people were like, that's not a boundary. A boundary is like, please don't ask me about this specific traumatic thing that I went through or like something like that.
He was over therapized.
Like, yeah. Or maybe not at all. He just saw it on TikTok and he's like, boundary is I get to tell you what to do. Yeah. And it's like, no, that's like a rule you're making for your partner.
Yeah. I don't know about this situation. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you don't need to tell them. You don't need to tell them that that's the reason. If they ask a reason, I probably still wouldn't tell them because I'm scared of strangers. And it's like, I don't need to make this person mad. I don't need to like provoke them in any way or make it seem like I'm just being mean or judgmental, even though you are being judgmental. But at the same time, it's like you're allowed to be judgmental when you're dating because you have to judge people.
Yeah.
You need to make judgments about people.
Right.
That's hard. I wouldn't tell them if I never met them in person, though.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
No, definitely not. Should I tell my friend that I slept with her boyfriend many years ago before they started dating? This is tricky. I've had a really good friend since childhood. We have grown apart here and there and then rekindled our friendship. We recently started hanging out again and I'm so happy and I've missed her. I've learned that she recently started seeing a guy we both went to high school with. I went to university with him and we had a one-night stand and slept together back in school around 8 years ago. Should I tell her? I don't want to make her feel bad or uncomfortable, but I also don't want her to find out down the road and be upset I didn't tell her. It seems silly to even bring up because it was so long ago and it meant nothing. I'm in a long-term relationship and she's asked that the four of us go on a double date. Thoughts? Your face.
I don't know.
That is so hard.
It's also something I would just never, like, I don't think I would get over. Like,
What do you mean?
I'm sitting across from my friend who slept with my boyfriend.
Oh, shit.
Like, that's, like,
yeah.
not a thought that would leave my head. Sorry. I don't know what to do in this situation.
No, that's so true.
I don't know.
Ew, that's so true. I'm like picturing myself in that because that's like from her side, it's like, yeah, you could tell her, be honest. But then from the girl's side, it's like, does she need to know that?
No.
Does she need to know that information?
And then the whole, like, she's going to find, like, no, she's not going to find out later.
Unless he tells her.
I feel like that's not something a guy definitely would not say that, I don't think.
Okay, maybe not.
I feel like guys
don't
are more
know.
secretive than girls.
That's true.
So that's not something he would slip up on.
Oh my God, that's so awkward.
That's really awkward.
I do think though, if you didn't tell her and then she like found out later and was mad, you could be like, I hooked up with a lot of people in college and they all meant nothing to me.
Right.
So it didn't, like, I didn't think it was important to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell you because it meant nothing and I forgot about it or something like that. Like, you could be like, oh, I did.
Right.
Couldn't tell you. I forgot. Although that's a lie. But
yeah.
at the same time, like, it does mean nothing. And you probably would have never thought about it again if the guy wasn't dating your friend.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
I think don't say anything.
Okay.
I just think you're creating more problems that way.
Yeah. Or make a podcast, have your friend on as a guest, bring up the situation.
Yeah.
Or like if you had a boyfriend, would you want to know if he had slept with one of your friends one night stand 8 years ago and see what she says?
Yeah.
And then if she says, yes, I would want to know, then on air, tell her because she can't get mad at you.
And
because
go
she's on
viral the
camera.
next day.
Yeah.
And then sign with a talent agency.
Move to LA.
We just solved
Manager
it.
talent agency, move to LA, reality show. You're
Period.
done.
Period.
You're set for life.
Yep. There you go. I stand by. Yeah.
It would eat away at me though. Well, maybe it wouldn't.
I don't think so. If he was just like one of many in college, I don't think it would. It's 8 years later. No, I don't think it would eat you.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, even if it was more than once, I kind of think sometimes people feel like if they've hooked up with someone, they kind of feel this like pride over it and like they have some part of you, whereas like you don't. Like it doesn't fucking matter unless we got married. It doesn't matter. Like you're irrelevant. So I would almost fear that if I told someone, oh, I hooked up with them, I don't know, like coming off as like, I had him first, or like, yeah. I got that too.
Yeah,
and it's like, that is so not the case.
I think don't say it. It's just like, for what?
Because I'm thinking about like someone from my past, if they started dating someone, if I went up to them and was like, yeah, I hooked up with him, just wanted you to know.
Right.
It's like, what and for what? Like,
Right.
what's the point of you telling me that?
Yeah.
Okay, I think don't say anything.
Yeah, because she's not gaining anything
Right.
other than the knowledge that you hooked up with him. And like, what is that doing for her?
Yeah, like she doesn't need the full truth. Like,
No,
does
yeah.
she deserve to like always feel anxious, self-conscious, awkward every time you guys are in the same room? Is that what
Yeah.
your best friend deserves? Like,
Right.
probably not.
No.
She probably just deserves to be happy and like not know every single thing that her boyfriend has ever said or done
Yeah.
in his entire life.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it was illegal.
Oh, there's that.
Unless he's a felon.
Convicted felon.
If you were dating someone and you were like getting to know them, whatever, okay, at what point would you want to know that they're a felon?
Like, how recent are we talking?
That's a good point.
Am I the first out of jail, or
Maybe you're the first out of jail.
depends what they were in for.
Yeah, true. Like, what did they do?
Totally depends. Like,
If they hurt someone, I would want to know right away.
but they wouldn't tell. Like,
If it was like robbery, grand theft, and they had a good reason for it, and then they donated the money to charity.
right? Like, what's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
No.
Oh.
No. What's the robber's name? Steals from the rich, gives to the poor in the fairy tales. Frick.
I know this. I haven't read this story, but I think it's in Shrek, right? They make a reference to it in Shrek.
Yeah.
What is that guy's name? He wears green. Robin Hood?
Yes.
Oh my God, Robin.
See,
Robin people.
If he's a Robin Hood, that's fine.
Yeah.
No worries.
If he's committing tax fraud, but then writes it off because he's donating to the World Wildlife Fund, like, that's fine.
Like, tax fraud, you're stealing from the government.
Well, it's sad because tax fraud, you're actually stealing from other taxpayers. So like really they're stealing from you because now you have to pay more to fix the roadways or like, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. My friend works for the government, and when people who like own businesses like write off things they shouldn't write off, I think it like genuinely makes him sad because he like really cares about like his constituents and stuff and like the people that they like make laws for. This is a local, like not local, but like state government. Whereas maybe in Washington it's different. But in local governments, I think they care more. Yeah. So yeah, you're stealing from other taxpayers, actually.
Boo.
So if your boyfriend commits tax fraud, he's stealing from you, and he's stealing from your mom, and he's stealing from me and Rebecca.
And don't you forget it.
Yeah.
Break up with him.
I said Robert Pattinson because there's a movie called Good Time with the Safdie brother, or Benny Safdie. Okay. Remember, I was Josh Safdie's muse in Uncut Gems.
Oh, yeah.
Josh and Benny Safdie are brothers, movie producers, creators. And Robert Pattinson was in this movie, I think with Benny Safdie, called Good Time. And it's so good. And the first scene is him robbing a bank, but he's robbing a bank for like a good reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't ruin the movie. So you should watch it. It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, so good. And Robert Pattinson is my idol, my god. No, I'm just kidding.
I do love Robert Pattinson.
He is my celebrity crush, yeah.
He is such a cutie.
He is so attractive and like such a good actor.
And like cool and hip.
Yes.
And his Suki Waterhouse is like so cool and hip.
They just got married, right?
And had a baby.
Oh, they had a baby. Yeah.
They're just like the coolest couple alive, I think.
Who is she? I don't even know who
a model.
Is.
But now she sings. She's like a actually kind of successful musician.
Okay.
Like in the indie scene.
Cool.
But she started as a model, dated Bradley Cooper.
Whoa.
They broke up. Now she's with Robert Pattinson. I'm like, you are winning.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
Winning.
Slay.
Hashtag winning.
That's a name that I have always heard, but I never like knew who it was.
Yeah.
Like, who was that guy you said earlier? Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
That's a guy who I'm like, wait, who is that? But I know like who it is.
We should have a Gladiator movie night. And then watch Good Time.
Oh my God. Good Time is so good. Everyone should watch it.
And then watch Saltburn.
Oh my God. Saltburn. I love it.
Obsessed.
Sometimes I watch Saltburn, just I throw it on in the background. It's just like so
just
nice
to feel
to have
something.
on.
Yeah.
It's just like an easy movie to watch, but at the same time, no, it's not.
But after so many times, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Like, you know what to expect.
Exactly. Yeah. You're like, it's beautiful. It's comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful film.
It really is. And the director's name is Emerald.
Like,
imagine if your name was Emerald. Wow. I love it. I feel like we did it. I was like looking through the other stories and I was like, they're all kind of very similar.
Yeah.
And I feel like
we did the damn thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you want to say about Robert Pattinson?
Oh my God. So many things.
Yeah.
While we're here. No, I just think it's like...
Speaking to the mic. Like, say it loud and proud.
He's just like everything.
I agree.
Who else is a celebrity that's everything of the sort and then some? I kind of feel that way with like Cara Delevingne.
Oh,
I mean, I know she's been through some hard times recently, but like cool, talented, in society, like in with all the people.
I just watched a TikTok about her, like talking about her story.
Mm-hmm.
She was like the queen in like 2014, 2015. Yes.
She was Karl Lagerfeld's muse for so long.
I remember the Cake era.
Imagine. Yeah, me too.
Kendall and Cara together, Cake. Yeah. Like, I love that.
Me too. I was
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I loved the era of King Kylie. Like, when I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, I think I was a sophomore in high school, actually. Mm-hmm. I was around the same age. Like, we're around the same age as Kendall and Kylie.
Yeah.
And they were so cool. Like, I remember being not like a fan, but just like thinking they were so cool. And that was when not everyone knew them. Mm-hmm. And when Kylie had the blue hair.
And
nobody talks about this, but I swear there was an era where Kylie Jenner changed her Instagram name like constantly. And she and all her friends, like her, possibly Jordan Woods, Jaden Smith, Stoss. Yeah. They all changed their Instagram name to I put the something on my back. And so she was like, I put the community on my back. I put the family on my back. Like they were all something. Yeah. This like weird ass name because one of their friends like owned this like clothing brand that was called like, it was something like I put the community on my back, and these major celebrities, well, I guess they weren't major because they were children, but it was like Kylie and Jalen Smith, like changing their Instagram name to this like wild thing. And I'm like, did I dream this? Like, I know I didn't dream it because I was like 15 or 16 at the time. Like, they were super young. And I remember thinking like, oh, that's so weird. Like, that's so crazy that she's that famous and she's doing that. But then she wasn't actually that famous at that point.
Yeah.
She was like famous to a child like me.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about it. I put the society on my back. That was another one.
It does not ring a bell for me.
Did I just say that? It's like, I want someone to do a deep dive about this. And like, I just want someone else to remember.
It should be you. You should make a TikTok about this.
Okay. Hold
Like,
on. Let
for
me
real.
Google this really quick. Kylie Jenner. I put the society on my back. I can't be the only one that remembers it. It's not working.
Oh no. Will we ever know the truth?
I don't know. And you can look at people's Instagrams, and if they change their handle in like the past like certain years, I don't know how many, there's a certain threshold where if they change their Instagram name within that threshold, you can see all their past Instagram names.
Oh.
But Kylie, like, this is like before that era.
Yeah. That was an iconic era. Coachella, Kendall.
Oh my God, I know.
Holding hands with Selena Gomez. Like, we all have that image imprinted in our brains. Just
Like, this
iconic.
Wait, sorry, I totally zoned out because I just saw Kylie's Instagram. Say it again.
Kendall and Selena Gomez at Coachella, like holding hands like besties.
Oh my God, I know.
That was a moment in time.
That was so iconic.
The flare pants.
I truly feel like we'll never go back to that because now like everyone and their mom is a celebrity.
Yeah.
And like no, everyone's cool now. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Not everyone was cool back then.
No.
Speaking from personal experience.
Yeah.
Okay, here. Kylie, April 27th, 2013. My new favorite place, at I Put the Industry on My Back, at Alexia Karanicolau. Can I come back with you guys? And it's her wearing boho flowy pants and a flowy white shirt in Greece. Like, this is so iconic.
It is.
Like, she started this. Like,
I know.
she was the it girl. Like, so cool. Who was I Put the Industry on My Back? It had to be Jalen.
Probably. He was very cool.
The Instagram's now taken by
Very
someone else.
quirky.
He was cool. I'm just like I need to do a deep dive on this and figure out.
You should do a TikTok where it's like behind you, the screen recording, and you're like talking.
Should I?
Yeah.
But I don't know all the facts. Like, I don't get how people like attain all these facts
I know. Me
about celebrities or famous people or like whatever.
Reddit, maybe.
Okay. I'm finding evidence. 2012, December 29th, 2012. Kylie Jenner tweets, new Instagram name. I put the district on my back. What? That is definitely an era that nobody talks about, though.
I know.
It happened, though.
We're breaking the news right here.
Right here from 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, I guess we can end it.
Sad. Till next time.
Till next time.
I'll check in with my sugar update.
Yeah, please do. Thank you so much for watching our podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.